Now we're going to talk about how organisms interact within a community. So the term competition means that two organisms that require the same nutrients are going to fight for those nutrients or resources. An ecological niche is the role an organism plays in its community. So it's basically where it belongs. There is a principle that states how organisms will interact. Competitive exclusion principle states that no two species can occupy the same ecological niche at the same time unless resources are plentiful. And so in general, one organism will outcompete the other organism, and the other organism will have to leave or will die. And so animals have learned, or organisms have learned, to move or to occupy either slightly different niches within the same area, or use different nutrients. And so I'll show you what that looks like. Wait. Oh, there's the one I like. Okay. Here we're looking at different birds. All of these birds, they're all warbler birds, and they eat the same types of foods, but they each have their own area that they live in. So here we have a warbler that lives in the top, I don't know, 2/3 of the tree, or maybe half of the tree. Here we have a warbler that lives at the very tip of the tree. We have another one that lives in the a little bit lower down from the tip. Another one that lives in the middle region, and then one that lives very low on the tree. So these animals have partitioned these trees off so that they all can survive and gain the nutrients they need. This is showing two different types of barnacles that live on the side of the ocean, so on the walls of like the mountains where the oceans are, or the sides of I guess they have the sides, I'll just say that. Thalamus and Balanus cannot survive in the same area. They compete. So Balanus now lives lower in the water, and Thalamus lives higher up. And so there are very few that live in that area of competition. Okay, and so there's two. Predation then is an interaction where one organism uses another organism as food. Predator and prey populations have a special dynamic. If the prey population decreases, that causes predator population to decrease. If the predator population decreases, the prey population increases, and that allows the predator population to again increase. And so here we see the lynx, which is a type of cat, and a hare, which is a rodent. As the hare population increases, that's going to cause the lynx population to increase. As the lynx population increases, the hare population decreases. This causes the lynx population to decrease, and it keeps going on and on like this. Notice that the lynx population is always going to be lower than the hare population. It's because you can't have as many lynx as you can hares. Hares are vegetarian. They eat a lot of plant foods. Lynx are carnivores. They eat, well, animals. So some organisms have evolved defenses against predators. And then some predators have actually adapted to those defenses. Coevolution is an interaction where two species adapt in response to selective pressures imposed by each other. So here we see frogs that have these bright red or bright colorings that tell other organisms that they are poisonous. Here we have a caterpillar that has eye spots. So when animals come down to pick up the caterpillar, they see those eyes and they immediately think, oh, it sees me. And then this is another insect that has a false head. So when an animal comes down to swipe it, it'll grab this head and the animal can just release the head and then it is safe. Some organisms can mimic other organisms. It's another adaptation that they have learned. There are two types of mimicry, Batesian mimicry, where you have a non-harmful mimic that mimics a harmful organism, whereas Müllerian mimicry is where you have two organisms that both are successful in their own defenses and they look similar. So let's look at this. This is a yellow jacket wasp. This is a bumblebee. Both of these organisms can sting you, so they have protections. This is a fly. It's a robber fly, I believe is what it's called. And then this is a beetle. They also look similar to these two. They all have that black and yellow striping. These two are Müllerian mimics, whereas these two are Batesian mimics. Last thing we're going to talk about is how organisms live in relationship to others. The term symbiosis means relationship where two organisms live together. This relationship can be beneficial, can be neutral, or can be detrimental. So a parasitism is a symbiotic relationship where one organism is benefiting at the expense of the other. So examples, ticks and leeches, they are parasitic on other animals. Here we have Braconic wasps will lay eggs on these caterpillars. The larva will then go in and consume the caterpillar from the inside out. Here's a cowbird in a goldfinch nest. The cowbird is actually a parasite. It drops its eggs off so that some other bird, in this case a goldfinch, will take care of it. Commensalistic is where one organism benefits, but the other one doesn't get any benefit or harm. So cattle egrets and cattle. The egrets basically perch on the cattle and they just have a place to sit and relax. They're not helping the cattle at all, but they have a place and they're not going to be harmed while they're on the cattle. Humpback whales and barnacles, or the manta ray and the remora, similar processes here. Barnacles and the remora will move to, will basically get a free ride on the manta ray or on the whales. Once they get to where they want, they can just drop off. So these guys are getting no benefits, but these guys are getting a free ride. They have to expend no energy. And then you have the mutualism. This is where both organisms are benefiting. And so here we have a sea anemone and a clownfish. The clownfish gets protection, the sea anemone gets food. Cleaning stations, you might have, and I think I have a picture, where you have certain smaller animals will go into the gills or go into the teeth and actually clean off the animals, protecting them, helping them stay healthy, and they're getting food for the whole process. That's the end of this chapter. I will get this uploaded for you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.